Very good morning to you. Today we will continue the previous lecture regarding capital expenditure decisions. The first question here is, what are the conditions for optimal capital expenditure levels? What are the conditions for optimal capital expenditure levels? There are many conditions that should be considered to achieve optimal levels of expenditures. They are as follows. The first condition is defining objectives. The first condition is defining objectives. Any business must have clear objectives that enable decision makers to act and then contribute to an achievement of the goal. Here it's important that objectives must have quantitative benefits related to, for instance, the profitability of the business. However, qualitative benefits such as employee motivation and customer satisfaction must not completely eliminated. So we have both quantitative method benefits and qualitative benefits. It's important that objectives must have both quantitative benefits and qualitative benefits. The most important one is quantitative benefits. However, qualitative benefits such as employee motivation and the customer satisfaction must not completely eliminated. In reality, organizations operate in terms of conditions of uncertainty. Therefore, decision makers face difficulty in estimating projected cash inflow and cash outflow. They have to consider some allowances relating to risks involved. Financial evaluation methods present certain perspectives such as sensitivity analysis to help decision makers facing these difficulties. So, in reality, organizations operate in terms of condition of uncertainty. When we make predictions for the future, we face conditions of uncertainty. So we need to have methods that helps us to face this uncertainty. Sensitivity analysis or what-if analysis. Help decision makers facing these difficulties. Second condition, alternative proposed projects. On one hand, the firm must have a number of alternative proposed projects that help achieving of specified objectives. On the other hand, scarce resources of the firm informs decision makers to accept certain projects by using different evaluation methods. The evaluation process is not simply quantitative analysis. Qualitative dimensions should be incorporated as well. Therefore, the evaluation process will be extremely problematic. So, the decision makers must have a number of alternative proposed projects that help achieving of specified objectives. But scarce resources of the firm enforce decision makers to accept certain projects by using different evaluation methods, such as discounted cash flow methods. And the evaluation process is not simply quantitative analysis. Qualitative dimensions also should be incorporated. Therefore, the evaluation process will be extremely problematic. Although top management is responsible for formulating strategies, it must encourage employees to innovate and propose similar projects. In other words, both middle management and lower management must have a role in planning. Although top management is responsible for formulating strategies, is responsible for planning for the organization, although top management is responsible for planning, formulating strategies, both middle management and lower management must have a role in planning as well. Third condition, information gathering. To achieve optimal levels of capital expenditure, it's necessary to obtain relevant information to assess the viability of proposed projects. Data should be structured and presented in such a way to make a comparison between outturn performance of a project and the original assessment of the evaluation stage. Information gathering. To achieve optimal levels of capital expenditure, it's necessary to obtain relevant information to assess the viability of proposed projects. So we need to gather sufficient and suitable and timely information related to proposed projects. Data should be structured and presented in such a way to make a comparison between outturn performance of a project and the original assessment at the evaluation stage. Fourth condition, meeting targets. Optimum capital spend required that a firm has the ability to ensure that decisions once taken are fully executed. This is helping the firm to be able to ensure that the outcome of the proposal meets or exceeds the target specified. So the firm has the ability to ensure that decisions once taken are fully executed. Why? Because this is helping the firm to be able to ensure that the outcome of the proposals meets or exceeds the target specified. So here we have 4 conditions for optimal capital expenditure levels. The first condition, defining objectives. Secondly, alternative proposed projects. Thirdly, information gathering. Fourthly, meeting targets. Here we have some main terminologies in this chapter, such as capital expenditure means giving up of current resources in anticipation of obtaining a large quantity of resources in the future. capital expenditure means giving up of current resources in anticipation of obtaining a large quantity of resources in the future. Capital expenditure projects and investment projects are synonyms. Synonyms: capital expenditure projects and investment projects. They both are related to invest in capital assets and projects. The both are related to invest in capital assets and projects. Typical capital budgeting decisions include the cases of capital budgeting decisions that the firm can be faced. Cost reduction decisions, expansion decisions, equipment selection decisions, lease or buy decisions, and equipment replacement decisions. Stages of preparing the capital budget. We have 5 stages of preparing the capital budget. The first stage is the determination of volume of a budget. Determination of volume of a budget. Secondly, searching for suitable investment proposals. Thirdly, evaluating of relevant investment proposals. Fourthly, monitoring process. And lastly, post-auditing capital budget. The last point here is the conditions for optimal capital expenditure levels. We have 4 conditions: defining objectives, alternative proposed projects, information gathering, and meeting targets. Thank you.